Oh yeah. Sorry about that. Oh, I wrote this little ditty while the guys were setting up the cameras. I'm a short seller. Yes, indeed, I'm a short seller. Motivated by greed, I'm a short seller. I got my own creed. I make money when the price goes down. Yeehaw. Anyway, I want to talk about the worst start for the markets in history, which was last week, by the way, and what short selling is. I'm not going to get into the detail on this video about short selling, but I know that many of you, while you're, some people are trading and they every day and they know what short selling is. Other people, they end up on CNBC and they hear the term, I'm long this, I'm short this, I'm short this, I'm long that, okay? Well, when you say I'm long, say IBM, that means I'm expecting IBM to go up. Buy low, sell high. When you hear them say, well, I'm short Barrick Gold, okay? That means I'm expecting gold prices to go down and I'm expecting Barrick to go down. And if it does go down and I've short sold them, I actually make money. I know it's counterintuitive and I'll get into that later. But for those of you that want to short sell the market, write this down. Because while everybody was going, this week was going, oh, I'm losing money, my portfolio is going into a bear market, which is not a bear market, it's only a correction. I was going ka-ching, 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 making a ton of money. And the reason why, because I was short selling the market using DXD, David X David. It's a exchange traded fund. Now, by the way, I trade only on the New York Stock Exchange. I only trade in US dollars. If you ask your financial analyst or go on, if you're trading on the TSCs and good, you know, there's exchange traded funds on all the exchanges. The one I use again is on the New York Stock Exchange. It's David X David. It shorts the Dow. And if you shorted the Dow this week, it's I think the price per share is around between 19 and 22. I bought in at 20 and I think I sold at 24. But anyways, it's a great thing to hedge your portfolio, to make a few bucks when these times when these corrections happen. So it's DXD, David X David. Okay? Now, what are exchange traded funds or ETFs? They're basically mutual funds, only they're not controlled by the greedy banks. They're actually controlled by financial institutions that are under the same rules and regulations as any company that's publicly traded on a stock exchange. So they're controlled by the SEC, and it's very important. Now, there's all kinds of ETFs. There's ETFs on the Dow, the short to Dow, and there's ETFs that are pro shares for the Dow. My favorite, again, for when the Dow goes up is UDOW, Ulysses, David, Oprah Winfrey, UDOW. I use that when I think the Dow is corrected and it's going to head back up again. Now, it's important when you're trading ETFs to make sure that they're highly liquid. There's lots of ETFs, and watch the volume closely. If they don't have at least a volume of 500,000 trades per day, don't trade them. They got to be close to 500,000, and if they're over 500,000 in the 1, 2, 3 million, you're safe. But don't get burnt like I did. You get it into an ETF, you think it's great, and it only trades about 10,000 shares a day, and you get stuck with it when it goes in the wrong direction. So when you're trading ETFs, it's important to understand that. Also, with ETFs, you can trade the technology sector. You can trade the high-tech, the biotech firms, the biotech sector, pharmaceuticals, energy, solar. There's all kinds of ETFs. If you're not comfortable with picking stocks, particularly right now when it's volatile, what I usually do is I pull out of individual stocks and I use the ETFs because they're a lot more. It's easier to manage 2 or 3 holdings rather than manage 5 or 6. So anyway, write those down. DXD, David X David. That's for when you think the Dow is going down, and when you think the Dow is going to go back up, then you trade UDOW, UDOW. Now, UDOW has high volume, and it's also higher price. It's around in the $59, $60 range or something like that. But don't worry about it. You just buy less volume because it moves a lot more too. Okay. What was I going to? Oh yeah, sector. The reason why the market went down last week. Everybody's heard about sector rotation. The money that hedge fund managers, financial institutions, they don't keep their money in the same sector all the time. They rotate in and out. And typically when they do that is between October and December. The reason why they didn't do it as much this year is because they were anticipating what the Feds were going to do. The Feds finally upped the prime rate by 1/4%, and that didn't happen until in December. So a lot of the rotation didn't happen. And as a result, as soon as the bell rang, starting 2016, the rotation started big time. And of course you had China and a few other things, but they use that as an excuse. Okay, let's take our profits and rotate out of one sector. What I'm seeing now is they're, based on my software, is they're rotating out of growth stocks slowly and putting them into value, just in case 2016 doesn't happen to be such a great year. So they're moving out of slowly, they're not moving completely out, but they're moving a lot of their holdings out of growth stocks like Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Salesforce.com, and they're moving them more into consumer staples like Johnson & Johnson, Campbell's Soup, utilities, and companies like that. And that's happening now. People are asking me, I had about 50 emails the other day, said, are we entering a bear market? It's a correction. We have a long way to go before the general direction of the market is changed. And based on the jobs report on Friday, which was good, I didn't expect that, nobody else did, now I expect that things are going to simmer down a little bit and the market's got to digest what's happening. But at the end of the day, nobody cares more about your financial freedom than you do. So get involved, talk to your financial advisor, and that's, what can I say? The Redneck Stock Trader, I'm Dave Gordon. Have a great week on the markets.